I'm regularly asked in my consultations about credit. In fact, the impact on credit is one of the most common questions that I've been getting over the last 30 years. When someone hears the term bankruptcy and credit, the first thing that comes to mind is the impact on the credit score. However, most of the time, a client's credit has already been impacted before they come to see the bankruptcy lawyer. So I'm going to discuss and share with you how bankruptcy specifically impacts your credit score, and also, equally as important, how to rebuild your credit after filing. Credit is comprised of two things. One, whether and if you're current on your contractual payments going forward. The other thing that you have to look at is what percentage of their monthly income or their debt to income ratio is being used to service debt. If you're bringing in $2,500 a month, but you're spending $2,000 of it on minimum monthly payments, that's not sustainable. You might be current. Your credit score could be a 750 in the circumstance that I've described, but your debt to income ratio is challenged and you're struggling and you're paying credit cards at the expense of paying other bills. It's a very common scenario. So we have to drill down and understand that everybody's situation is different, and when we paint with broad strokes and say that bankruptcy impacts your credit, most of the time when we understand what's going on with the household budget, it's unsustainable. Filing bankruptcy does remain on the credit report. For instance, in a Chapter 7, like we discussed, you file, you have a hearing within a month, and then 2 or 3 months you're discharged. There are definitely some specific strategies and tools that clients can use post-discharge so that the credit improves. And most of the time, the credit does improve post-discharge. Why is that? In my opinion, is that the credit report looks historically different at the end. We always have our clients follow up with their credit report to make sure that everything is accurate and correct post-discharge. It's a very important step. You want those trade lines to say, included in bankruptcy, discharge. Those are the only designations you want. Too many times, clients don't understand post-discharge. They need to go back. They don't want to see anything that says 30, 60, 90 days late. There should be no designations like that on the big three, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Following that one simple step can boost your score post-discharge. Now that we've discussed some of the myths of credit post-bankruptcy and how it impacts your score, I want to talk to you about some specific strategies that can help you and the client improve their credit score post-filing. One very specific way you can improve your credit score after filing is by getting a secured credit card and paying it off monthly. Simply, a secured credit card is a card that you get with a designated amount, let's say $500. You pay that off early, and you pay it off regularly, and you pay it off in full. And you do that for a short period of time. That, along with other regular payments post-discharge, can be a significant factor in quickly improving your credit score post-discharge. We also want to talk about some of the limitations with respect to bankruptcy post-discharge. One, you need to understand that there are limitations with respect to securing a mortgage or securing a loan. So sometimes there are time periods where you have to wait a period of time to secure a mortgage post-discharge, both in a 7 and in a 13. If you're in a Chapter 13, the barometer for future credit is whether and if you're making payments timely, that both benchmarks are completely current, both your trustee payments and the payments that you're making to your mortgage company. That is the best approach in securing financing or purchasing a home post-discharge or during the bankruptcy. There are a couple other suggestions that I have for clients post-discharge as they relate to budgeting and finance. Number one, you can visit annualcreditreport.com regularly. That's a free governmental website. After the pandemic, it became free to check your credit. That's the best source because it's a governmental website and you don't have to pay. And I tell clients to regularly check it. Just like you're checking medical test results and getting a checkup, it's part of your financial annual checkup. Another strategy or tool that we see that's important for a client post-discharge is a budgeting app. I don't recommend any one specifically, but there are several out there that have wonderful reputations that can help you continue with the budget that you set in the bankruptcy so that you are using the tools and strategies with the bankruptcy so that you don't repeat the same mistakes. I highly recommend them. Look, if you're facing any kind of financial distress, you're late on your car payment, you're late on your mortgage, or you're paying minimum monthly payments at the expense of other bills on your credit cards, you can get a financial fresh start, and there are real solutions that are available to you. If you're facing any kind of financial distress, feel free to contact my firm and my team so that you can schedule your confidential consultation without cost. I'm attorney Lee Perlman, NewJerseyBankruptcy.com.